every single Friday. If you're a big fan of the UFC, big MMA fan, you're going to want to tune into this because our boy, UFC heavyweight Brandon Vera is in the house.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah, it's cool, man. You hear Brandon every Friday on with us at this time, 9 o'clock every Friday. And you can always go to rock1053.com and use the keyword UFC and see Brandon Vera.
Yeah.
Right there live on the web.
There he is.
Right.
What's up, man?
There he is in
I'm
his
good.
wife
I'm
beater.
good. My wife, sorry. No, this is the husband beater the missus calls it, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Brandon is yoked.
Look at his, like, what are these muscles called right up here?
The traps.
Your
Yeah.
traps? Look
Swole.
at those traps. They're,
But-
like, bulging.
Thank you guys very much. But
Well-
I am kind of sad today because I got on the scale this morning
Yeah?
and I was 242 this morning.
What?
What makes
So
you sad about
I
that?
lost 8 pounds. Because I haven't been able to train in 2 weeks.
Oh,
of my
'cause of the
hands.
hand?
Well, I haven't been able to train good
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. So I'm not eating as much, and I'm for sure not training as much. I was like the opposite of a woman today. It's just
You're mad because you lose weight. But, dude, yeah, it's great, man. Brandon is back in the heavyweight division. He's going to be fighting at the end of August 31st, UFC 164.
164.
Which is going to be a sick card, and Brandon's on it. He's fighting Big Ben Rothwell.
Yes, sir.
And, hey, listen, if Brandon's going back to heavyweight, he's like, listen, I'm going full-on heavyweight. So,
Yeah.
dude, the weight is getting put on, and it's not like chubby weight. And you can see it. I mean, we're videotaping it. Brandon is definitely swole. He's ready to go, man. So it's going to be great, dude.
Thanks, Daddy. I
I'm
appreciate
excited,
it,
man.
Thanks, guys. It's just been, a year. I'm ready to go. It's been a little over a year by the time I get back to the cage.
Right.
I'm excited.
It's time.
Usually, I after a fight, I'll go on vacation, go travel the world maybe 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I come home, then I hang out for a month, then I'll get back into training. So there's five months gone from no training since my last fight. After this fight, as soon as I was able to, in between injuries, I've been training the whole time. So I'm just, it's nice.
Do you ever
I'm excited.
Do you ever get to the point where you're like, all right, I'm sick of training. I really want to punch somebody in the face?
That happens to everybody. So we call it camp.
Okay.
When you're in camp, it's
Right.
8 weeks.
Right.
That usually happens to everybody probably 3 weeks before date of the fight, before you're scheduled to fight, because you're in shape already. You're tired of training. You're tired of getting people beating you up every day, because it's not just one person you're training with.
Right.
You spar one round, and in the case of Dominic Cruz, it's a new person every 2.5 minutes, and he's going through 16 people. It's just, so it's not fun, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool, and yeah, you're in shape, but it gets old, man. Like,
I really want to kick somebody's head off.
yeah, and
You
you
know?
can't, because there's a fresh guy in every time, so you're just like, oh, come on, man.
Oh, man.
So
So how do you amp it down? If that's 3 weeks out of the fight, how do you, control yourself?
It's kind of nice that your 3 weeks away from the fight, your coaches, you still have that hard week. You don't get an easy week till 2 weeks before the fight.
Okay.
Week of the fight, you're there doing press and PR and all sorts of stuff, cutting
Plus,
weight.
you don't want, to get a cut or anything like that to happen, right?
So we stop sparring 2 weeks before the fight.
Okay.
Your third week before the fight's the last hard one, and everybody's kind of pushing you and encouraging you that last week, because everybody knows it sucks. Like,
Right.
people who don't cuss, Mr. Mike Chandler, he doesn't cuss.
Yeah.
He won't say the F-bomb. He'll say fudge
Aw,
instead.
cute.
Like,
Yeah.
he does. He does like 99.8% of the time not cuss.
Yeah.
But he was 3 weeks away, and I remember he was cussing, and I looked over with my mouth open like a little kid for the first time. Like, oh my
Like
God.
from your parents?
Yeah.
Like you hear your parents say the F word, you're like, what?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
So it even gets the best of us, And Chandler doesn't cuss, and
Wow.
for him to be cussing, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like that for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like that for everybody.
Well, I had just seen an interview with Mr. Wonderful, Phil
Yes.
Davis, and, he's gearing up for a huge fight himself.
Yes, sir.
He's going to be fighting Lyoto Machida, for basically the #1 contendership almost, in the light heavyweight division. And he had mentioned that Yushin Okami has been down training with you guys, getting him ready for that fight. How cool is it that you guys at Alliance get some of these huge UFC fighters come down and train with you guys?
It's really, really cool, man. Like, we're with Bad Boy. I'm being sponsored by Bad Boy for this
nice.
fight. And
Yes.
and Bad Boy does a lot of stuff with our gym now. And
Free shirts?
Look it up.
Bad Boy, you know, they have a lot of international fighters. So what they're doing now is we're making alliance. It's always been kind of a destination, but we're making a destination for fighters around the world all the time.
It literally is an alliance.
Yeah, with everybody.
Wow.
It's kind of cool. It kind of fits. So.
Right. That's awesome.
And Yushin is the strongest Japanese dude I've ever rolled with in my life.
Really?
That guy is super strong. I understand why. You know how Yushin, everyone's like, oh, Yushin's boring.
Yeah.
No, he's just really strong. Like, when people shoot on him, he just picks you up and turns you around back to the cage. He did it to Phil. He did it to me. Like,
wow.
Whoa, man.
And we're talking world-class wrestlers here, and Yushin Okambi, who fights at 185, but he's not 185
No, he's 230 right now. He's big right now, yeah. He's big right now.
Wow.
Like 220, 230. He's a big dude right now.
And you know, he's a perfect sparring partner for Phil because he's got that awkward style just like Lyoto Machida does.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
interesting.
So we have a couple different guys coming in, and I'm probably going to go spar with the guys today. Not full.
Right.
I have my cast on. I will put my glove over my cast, so we're good.
How long until you get that thing off?
What's today?
The
A week and a
21st.
half. Week and a half.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, a week and a half. It's Friday.
And then how long until you can start getting into it?
As soon as I take the cast off, they're going to make me a piece for my thumb
Oh, okay.
that goes into the glove so I can
So
keep punching.
you don't want to re-injure it or
yeah,
re-break it or anything
for
like that.
sure.
That would be terrible. All right, let's talk a little bit about what
these
happened last
cards.
weekend.
Oh, last weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know. And that reaction is legit. It was not the greatest
I was
card.
excited about this one coming up. I forgot
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
get into that. But last weekend, the big main event was Rashad Evans versus Dan Henderson. Now, I didn't think the fight was terrible, but I also didn't think it was spectacular.
No.
What
I
did
agree.
you think about that?
Exactly what you just said. I didn't think it was spectacular. It wasn't bad.
There's still a lot of, it seemed like a little cautious,
From
fighting
both.
from both guys.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen Dan Henderson be cautious before. That was
Yeah.
really, really weird. And Rashad just fought like how I figured Rashad would fight. It was kind of...
What do you think of the decision? Do you think that Rashad earned it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I watched the fight one more time before I erased it. And... honestly, it's a coin toss.
Could've gone
that
either
fight,
way.
Yeah, that fight was a coin toss. It was up to the judges.
Yeah,
really.
I kind of felt the same way. When I first watched it, I was like, "Oh, Dan got robbed." I thought he won the second round.
Yeah.
Clearly he won the first round.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I watched it again, and I'm like, "Well, maybe not." It was that one of those fights. So you're just not
Yeah.
really sure, and almost you kind of wish that there would be a little bit more draws. When it's a fight like that, you just give them a draw and say, "All right, whatever."
A draw or extra round.
Yeah.
Sudden death.
There you go.
They do it in They do it during the show, during the Ultimate Fighter show.
Yeah.
And they used to do it in K1 Max. Oh, no, they did it in K1 too. If it was, I remember, because it was an Asian lady, Japanese lady who would say it. And when they would say draw, she would say, extra loud! We don't pronounce our R's.
Yeah.
Most Asians don't pronounce our R's. Extra loud!
Yeah. I would love that little OT.
It would be cool. And then sudden death. The 3 rounds don't matter. Now you gotta man up, pull your big boy pants up, and see what's really going on.
Oh, that
When
would
you're
be
tired,
sick.
But I know it can't happen because of TV constraints,
Right.
time slots, and. But it would be really cool.
It would be. I would like that.
Bring new depth to it.
Yeah,
I would
it
like that. Yeah.
I would want to be an announcer screaming extra loud.
And then, there is a reason why Brandon is in here breaking this stuff down, because he said last week, pull the tape, this Roy Nelson Stipe Miocic fight, he goes, listen, watch out for Stipe. I said, come on, Brandon. I mean, Roy Nelson, big country, he's going to go in there, he's going to throw one haymaker, it's going to be done. He's like, okay, but you watch out for this guy, I'm telling you, he's real good. And I'm like, oh, whatever. What happened?
Dude.
Stipe Miocic dominated.
Yeah.
Like,
Stipe looked
fire.
good, man.
Wow.
Stipe looked really good.
Roy
Holy
did
cow.
not.
Well, Roy, it was a short notice fight. He had
Yes.
2 weeks to
And,
prepare.
if I would have known that, for sure, I would have even swung the favor even more in Stipe's.
Right.
Because I know Stipe trains. He's always in shape.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that made a huge difference. I didn't find that out till the middle of the round. Because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, my God, Stipe he's 10 times better than I remember. But then when they said Roy was only 2 weeks in training, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Okay, he's not Superman.
And
He looks good,
And
but-
one of the things we were talking about is that Roy Nelson normally comes in shape, and
Yeah.
even though he looks like a big fat dude, that dude's got cardio.
Yeah.
He's ready to go, and
Bouncing around.
he looks great. Not so much this time.
Oh,
he needs a full
tired,
can.
man. Yeah, he was tired.
I mean, by the middle of the first round, he looked
Yeah,
like
he was tired.
done.
Well, you know what? Not just tired from moving around, but him getting cracked. Because Stipe was cutting the angle to the right and throwing that straight on the left side of his jaw. And I think Big Country was just leaning away from it, and it was connecting every time. I think he must have ate like 6 or 7 of them.
Well, it came out after the fight that Roy Nelson got hit more in that fight than any other heavyweight fight ever.
I believe it.
Which, whew, boy. And he didn't drop.
No.
So
no.
one thing you can say about Roy Nelson, he's got a great chin, but man, that Stipe looked great.
And man, Stipe, I felt bad for Stipe too because he started getting tired, man. Like he kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and Big Roy doesn't go down, man. No, he doesn't go down. Like he might wobble a little bit, but he's not going to drop. So Stipe started getting tired, I think, 3rd round, but he was like, come on, man. Wow, fall down. Right? Wow, fall down.
What do I got to do? Jeez, did I got an anvil in my pocket?
That was a good fight, actually. I did enjoy that fight just because Stipe looked good.
Technical.
I was sad that Roy was out of shape, though.
Yeah, he'll come back, though. I mean,
sure.
He's a huge fan favorite. People love that guy, watching him fight.
Big Country.
That's it, man. But yeah, the rest of the card, I don't know what was going on, but it just...
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes these fights just fall flat, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And you know what? Who gets the most flack for that? And it's not his fault. Joe Silva.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
He's the matchmaker.
Yeah, he's the matchmaker. But, I mean, 2 guys that are supposed to fight.
Well, on paper, Dan Henderson, Rashad Evans, that sounds like a sick fight.
Yeah. So it's not Joe's fault. It's not anybody's fault. I think it's just in the air and when the fighters get into the octagon and stare at each other.
You hear some guys like Ryan Jimmo who said, listen, I just didn't want to lose. And we've talked about this before. He said, I was coming off a loss. I know what another loss means.
Yeah.
So I'm going in there, and I know I got to get a win any way possible.
That's true.
And that's that really hurts.
And,
ruins it.
It does. And as a fan watching outside, that really sucks. Mm-hmm. But as a fighter who's employed by the UFC,
right?
It's kind of a big
everything.
deal. It's kind of a big deal.
Sure.
Like you want to get both checks, and you want to make sure that they call you again for another fight.
Yeah, because they're not going to cut you if you win.
Exactly.
Even if you look bad doing it, if you get the W, they usually don't cut you.
Exactly.
So
it's
tough.
hard, man. It's a hard balance because they're running a business. They want the exciting fights, but fighters don't want to get cut either. And it's no matter how much a fighter says, "Oh no, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I'm the man. Oh, this and that." When they shut the door and things look like they might not be going your way, your game could change just so that you can get the W.
Right.
Like you might turn into somebody who just grabs, lays and prays, and wins every round by points. Instead of the knockout artist or like Dan Henderson usually sleeps everybody.
Right.
So it's
a tough situation.
Yeah, that's why I try not to be too critical because I am a fighter, but I am a fan.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's both. I'm the idiot in the stands screaming and jumping up and down.
Right.
The only time I boo is when and this is something that all the fans can take too, I guess. The only time I get mad at the fans and I start yelling at everybody, I'll start cussing at fans.
Oh, no.
Is when they start screaming out USA. Because there's so many international fighters, and we get to train with all of them. Mm-hmm. And man, it doesn't matter where you're from, because we're in the cage by ourselves, like we're bleeding the same color all over the mat and all over each other. So that's the only time I ever get mad and become a fighter again.
Yeah.
Is when I'm in the stands and people yelling USA.
And you'd be like, Filipino!
Yeah. No, I'm proud of the U.S. and I love
Sure.
being from the U.S. But man, it's like y'all need to calm down, man.
Right.
These guys are killing themselves inside the octagon for you, and you want to single one of them out? Come on,
And your
bud.
favorite fighters, Anderson Silva.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile,
90% of UFC fans' favorite fighters Anderson Silva, and they're screaming USA. So,
well, speaking of Anderson Silva,
speaking of the fighter,
pretty sure he's got a fight coming up. Pretty sure it's happening in 2 weeks. Pretty sure it's going to be in Vegas.
whoa.
oh, we're in Vegas.
I'm pretty
What a coincidence.
sure the big UFC Fight Week, UFC Fan Expo is happening that weekend. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be there.
That's
Pretty
right.
sure.
Big announcement.
Good time.
This is happening right now. I'm telling you.
Talk about it, Eddie.
Big announcement.
Let
We're
them know.
going to be happening. It's going to be happening on July 6th is the fight. But the day before, on July 5th,
Friday.
you're going to hear a special afternoon broadcast with myself, Ashley, and Mr. Brandon Vera.
Yeah.
We're going to Vegas at the Fan Expo.
Big three.
We're broadcasting live from the Fan Expo, the three of us, and we're going to be talking to tons of fighters.
Everyone's going to be there.
It's going to be crazy.
I'll be pulling people over left and right.
Well,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
Brandon's a fighter, so dude, we're gonna be
We'll cut
rolling
lines, we'll
right.
get autographs, and pull fighters. Oh, hey, you come here. Hey, you come here. Are you on break? Come here.
So Brandon, like the chocolate up, pool party we're going to go to,
We'll
right?
go to that.
Eddie and
What?
I'll
Wherever you want to go, I'm
cruise
down.
with
What?
you.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I already told Brandon, I'm like, so we'll hang out the
She was
whole
planning the whole
time,
weekend,
right?
Yeah, Brandon, we got to hit up and raise afterwards. The hottest after-hour nightclub.
Wait,
What?
Eddie.
What? Anyway, we're going to have a great time. Vegas.
Nobody goes to Dre's anymore, Eddie.
Friday the 5th. We're a special afternoon broadcast.
Brandon doesn't even know what Dre's is.
Oh, it's the best, man. Well, I'll get you the hookup. Me and Brandon. Front line. I know somebody. So it's pretty
Eddie,
sweet.
no one wants to go to Dre's.
Me, Ashley, and Brandon broadcasting live July 5th from the UFC Fan Expo. It's going to be
The
crazy.
Fan Expo's nuts. You guys have not been?
Never been.
No. Freaking out.
It's bad.
What do we expect?
It's bad in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it'll
Like
take.
a fan's dream, right?
It's bad. Any fighter that's worth their salt, it'll take them an hour literally to go about 20 feet. 30
Wow.
feet. Yeah, it's bad.
You have to like control me, Brandon, because I might
It's bad.
like lose. I might embarrass you guys.
Well,
I don't know. It's Vegas. You
What a
can't
shock.
embarrass somebody in Vegas. We'll say she's drunk. She doesn't know.
What happens there, whatever.
going
Yeah.
on?
This is great, man. So that is going to be a cool special broadcast on July 5th. You're going to want to definitely pay attention to that. It's going to be great. All right, so anyway,
Anderson
Silva's going to be fighting. Let's save it for next week because next week we got to have something to talk about next week.
Yeah.
So
And
next
Mark
week,
Munoz is fighting.
dude, this
can't
is
wait.
going to be crazy.
And Chris Lieben's fighting.
Right?
Okay, we'll talk about next week.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sleeping, training at Alliance now. I mean, we got a lot to talk about next week. Brandon, thanks for coming in as
Thank
always,
you, guys.
man.
Super
Love it.
awesome.
Brandon, brought to you by Bud Light. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we got a study that has to do about sleeping. It's hard